and welcome to episode 4 of the Cat Crafty Knits Podcast. It is the 13th of June 2024 and I am filming today from my bedroom floor. I think in one of my earlier episodes, possibly the first episode, I talked about how we live in quite an old Devon cottage and the walls are thick and it feels very, very dark here if the weather's not very nice. And I don't know if you can see from this angle, it's probably glared out on the camera, I can't really see. But yeah, it's a bit rainy, it's a bit dark. It's blooming June, and where is summer? I know we're in England, but come on, this is even rubbish for England. So yeah, I'm here to talk to you about a couple of things today. I finished my spinning, so I've got some spinning finished object to show you. I have some more swatches. I have some shawl news. Designing's such a pain sometimes. Yeah, I'll show you the shawl news. I think it's good progress in terms of the design concept, but it's a bit of a backward step in terms of progress knitting wise, if that makes sense. But yeah, we'll come to that. I have a new cast on as well. I had to look down then to remember what I've got to talk about. I have a new cast on as well, and that's very exciting. I'm very excited about that. And actually a lot of me just wants to pick that up and knit that all the time and not work on anything else. So I'm trying to be really, really good and work on everything. So yeah, shall we get started? First of all, shall we talk about what I'm wearing? It's my revival. I'm not going to go on about this one because I've talked about this one quite a lot in the podcast so far. But it's really cosy and definitely what is needed on this rubbish day, weather-wise. It literally, I'm not even joking, it literally feels like it's an early spring day out there. Where, like, it's not, I say it's not even nice and sunny at the moment, but it has been sunny at points, but literally still is really chilly. Like, the chill in the air is like, ooh. So yes, this lovely fluffy mohair jumper is just what I need today. How about we move on to my finished object, my spinning. So, this is my spun maul. Can I hold them all at once? There we go. I have 5 skeins of hand spun yarn. I'm so pleased with how this has come up. This is my biggest spinning project by far, so far. And yeah, I think overall, I don't know if that's going to focus, let's see for you. Overall, I am really pleased with how fairly even this is. I mean, when I say fairly even, let's find the better ones and the not so good ones. So this chonky skein here, this is thicker than pretty much the rest of it. This is probably weighing in at about a heavy DK. Heavy DK worsted almond-ish weight. Whereas this one is more of kind of a light DK. I would say heavier than a sport. It's kind of between a sport and a DK. So, in terms of the full project, getting this chunky one in here with the others, I'm a little bit concerned about. Like, I think it's going to be fine. My plan is with this to knit an any day sweater by your solder. And I think if I alternate the skeins, so the chunky one is in with the skinnier ones, I think it will be fine. But I also think something quite simple, just the stockinette of the any day sweater, or pullover, whatever she calls it. I should have planned this more. Yeah, I think the plain stockinette with that, and also it being quite an oversized, snuggly garment will be quite good for this. The only thing I don't know is if I've got enough for it. So I need to have another look at the pattern and see if my yardage or my meterage adds up to what I think. I'll probably knit it with slightly less ease than she recommends anyway, so hopefully I can make it stretch. If not, I'll have to come up with maybe a contrast colour or something, because this is definitely going to be a jumper, and I think that's the one it's going to be. So yeah, I am really pleased with my first garment-sized handspun. I mean, I kind of don't know how to show you more of it really, it's just a load of skeins at the moment. Shall I undo one? I don't know if this is adding anything to your experience of my hand spinning or not really. But there you go. Yeah, anyway. There you go. Now watch me mess up spinning. Or skeinin one. On camera. There we go. So yeah, fingers crossed by the next time I podcast, that will be on the needles as a garment. Oh, shall we move on to my new cast on? This is going to be a bit tricky to show, I think. First of all, let me show you the yarn. This is the yarn I picked up from the Wall Kitchen at Unravel Festival. I think I mentioned it in my first episode at the end where I did the patterns that tempt me thing. Well, this is it. Try and get my face out so it's on the yarns. I completely forgot to look up what the colourway was before filming, so I will do that and put it on the below thingy. This is merino silk, and this is the Kid Mohair silk, and they are just so beautiful. I don't even know if the camera's doing the colours justice in the slightest. Maybe it is. And let me try and show you where I've got to so far. So last weekend I went on a girls' weekend away. We haven't done it for a few years, but me and my uni girls, my uni friends, like to go away and just spend some time together really. We don't get much time to do it really. A lot of us have got young children, and the ones that haven't got young children have busy jobs, so it's always really difficult to get time together. But we managed it last weekend. We went to Wimbleball Lake, which is in Somerset. It's on the moors. It's actually not that far away from me. It was only about a half an hour drive for me, whereas the others had to come a couple of hours. So that was a bonus for me. But yeah, it was really nice to just chill out for the weekend. We did a bit of paddle boarding on the lake, which was really fun. That's the first time I've done that. And yeah, in the times in between, we didn't have loads other than that planned. I sat and knit, we drank, we played games. And yeah, it was a really nice time. So whilst away, I started the Elton pullover by Hoji Loki Telly. I'm trying to get this in a state that you can see it. So as you can see there, it's all scrunched up because I've got it on a cord keeper and the needle's hanging off. But that is the back panel. So at the top there you can see the neckline shaping. I've got the shoulders and I've got the back panel, although it's a bit screwed up at the minute. And then I have at the front one finished kind of upper front section, and the other one is currently on the needles. You can see the short bow shape in there and the neckline starting to come round. So yeah, I'm really happy with how these yarns are looking. Like, they are bright and garish, which I love, but somehow it just goes into this project. I've got it inside out now. So lovely. And this is going to be really cool and really fun to wear. I can see myself wearing this one a lot. So yeah. This so far has knit up really quickly. Like, I did most of the back panel whilst away at the weekend, and then in the last couple of evenings I've done what I've got so far of the front panels, and that's a good portion already through like the top yoke. So yeah, hopefully that might be a quite quick knit, and I also have an FO to show you soon, but we will see how it goes. So yeah, from there I think that moves us on to my designing whips, my designing process, the design stuff, the stuff that I really wanted to chat about in this episode, let's be honest. Let's have a sip of tea. I feel like I'm whipping through this really, really quick, and you're going to have like 15 minutes of episode to watch, and that'll be that. Although technically that's not true, because the shawl I've got extra footage to put in, and that's a couple of minutes. Hold on, we bump it out a little bit. Like, I don't want it to be too long, but I don't want it to be too short either. First of all, design-wise, I'm going to chat about my swatches that I've talked about in the last couple of episodes for the jumper that I haven't yet started. Still haven't started it, spoilers. So you would have seen this swatch. This is the boucle with the DK for the ribbon. And this hasn't changed, this is exactly as it was. It's still super snuggly, I still really love it. But if you remember from the last episode, for this jumper I was wanting to match it with another yarn and kind of do 2 samples at the same time, which will show off different yarns. And I did have the DK yarn that I'd fold for my brioche jumper, in which I wanted to couple with it. I have to put in a photo because I didn't bring that swatch with me, but on swatching with that yarn, initially I don't usually pin my swatches when I swatch, but for this one I did. And I was like, great, I can pin it and it will be the perfect gauge. Like, it will literally match the boucle swatch, and that's it. I've done it. Fab. It will work. It dried, I took the pins out and it shrunk. I mean, it was a bit of a long shot because the boucle is 2 strands of boucle held double, whereas that was a single strand of a heavy DK, but a DK, so yeah, it didn't work. But that's fine. But I did still want to do 2 sweaters at once, 2 jumpers at once. So I'll show you what I did next. Finishing my last bit of tea because it's cold. So next I swatched with some yarn. I'm gonna have to say it in a minute and I can't say it. Yes, I swatched with some yarn that I had in stash that I've only had 3 skeins of in different colours, and I bought them with the sole intention for swatching for another project, which has never become and probably won't become anything. But as I still had yarn left over from swatching, it suddenly occurred to me that actually this could be the perfect yarn. And this garish thing here is that yarn and that swatch. And this is Cama Rose Snowflake in English. Cama Rose Snowflake. And I just love this. And, okay, I didn't do the extra ribbing with the contrast, and it's kind of cinching in as I show you, but the gauge matches. Yay! Which is really cool because I really love this yarn and I'm really looking forward to working with it in a project, which then meant I brought yarn. So I guess this counts as a yarn acquisition as well. That's the one. How beautiful is that colour? So no, I'm not going to knit it orange, although I was tempted. And I was also tempted by, they have like a really rich red. I think that would have been really cool as well, but I went for the lighter colour because hopefully this will show off some of the details when I come to knit the jumper. So yeah. And for the contrast, the rib there that I've got, I picked Sanders Garn Merino. Is that going to focus? It's getting my face at the minute, isn't it? Hopefully that's got it. If not, I'll input a photo. So yeah, those 2 together, which I think would be really nice and almost like a snowy icy feel, isn't it? Which I guess actually, if I think about it, is probably slightly intentional because although this jumper isn't even a jumper yet, but it's not named. But I think when I look at names, I want to go along kind of the snowy icicle wintry feel, so that's probably what my thought was there. So yeah, that's going to become that jumper, or the other one to that. My only slight concern with this is, although it's the same gauge, because of the differences in the yarn, this is quite light. And I wonder if putting that with that is going to be too heavy. So that might need a little bit of work and a little bit of experimenting with. So yeah, I'm setting myself up for failure here, but we'll see how it goes. As you can obviously see, I've not actually managed to get any of this officially on the needles yet. So maybe I will next time. We'll see where we get to. I'm starting to get a really numb bum from sitting on the floor, so this can't go on too much longer. Whew. I'm so classy, aren't I? So, this leads me on to my final topic for today, and this is my Leyland shawl. My Leyland shawl I've been working on for quite a long time now. I mean, actually, I started the design idea the middle of last year. I then, after Christmas, and certainly after finishing the Over the Ocean jumper and getting that into testing, that then became my sole focus. I say my sole focus, I've obviously focused so well because you can see all the other stuff I've been working on. It was meant to be my sole focus design-wise, and it's kind of been on and off the needles. I've kind of had, not a love-hate relationship with it, but it's challenged me in the sense that when I first did my first swatches and design kind of idea for it, I think I've got a bit of fluff in my eye. I swatched and based my patterns on a kind of like a superwash merino 4-ply yarn, and the stitch definition in that is quite obviously, now I think about it, but the stitch definition I got with that yarn was quite different to what I got with the John Arbon Textiles yarn, which is the one that I'm knitting the actual shawl from. It's here, I'll show you rather than just talk about it. You probably remember, I've shown this basically every episode I've done so far. So those yarns there, this is the Harvest Hues 4-ply from John Arbon Textiles in the colourways Loganberry and Silver Birch. And they were kind enough to give me this yarn, and I have 4 skeins, so 2 skeins of each colour. So as you can see here, I actually do have a newly started shawl, but only that much. And this is with the second skeins of each colour that I got. I haven't actually fogged the first one yet, simply because I want to see if this is going to work out before I waste all of the work I've already done. But there's a couple of reasons that I've decided to restart this, and I'm going to hop on over to a bit of footage that I filmed in the office the other day and show you that, because in that footage I talk about why I think I need to start again and why this has been a bit of a pain. I say a bit of a pain, it's not been a bit of a pain. It's my poor planning. I probably should have done a little bit of maths, looked at the gauge, looked at how quickly I needed to increase and this, that and the other, and I didn't, I winged it. So it's my fault. But yeah, I'll skip over to that video now. So you'll have to ignore the state of our office currently, but I come from the office this morning. This is my Leyland shawl that I wanted to show you. From this angle you can kind of see best why I'm not really happy with it. I think basically what's happened is over here at this short end, it's not too skinny. I think that's actually fine, but I think it looks funny because then when I've gone into the garter section that separates the 2 lace bands, my increase rate is far quicker than it needs to be. Like, I've hit maximum, maybe more than maximum length, width-wise, sorry, in the fabric there, but it's not nearly halfway in terms of its length. I'll show you what is meant to be happening with that short end to then kind of get more of an idea of why the rest of it isn't quite right. So the idea with this skinnier section, which you can now see, is that I want the fabric at the end to create a knot for the end of the shawl, but that obviously then shows why my increase rate is yeah, really not quite on the point. For example, this fabric here bunches far too much directly out of the knot and is going to hang a bit funny. And then that then means, in terms of actual width for that part of the shawl, it grows incredibly quickly and just doesn't quite work really, does it? In principle, I like where this is going. However, with the thought of starting again, now when I say start again, I've got 2 more skeins of this yarn, and I will need them for the shawl. In terms of its entirety, I will need the 4 balls, but what I'm thinking of probably doing is starting again with the 2 new ones, and then obviously frogging this once I know I'm happy that this is wrong and the other one's right. But I am kind of wondering, with starting again, do I need to think about my lace again? It's kind of easier to see on this side because of the lighter colour. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I also think I'll probably swap the colours over. So at the moment the grey goes along the top of the shawl, which is the back section, and then the red or pinky red, maroony, whatever colour you want to call it, then drops down the front. But I think actually it'd be better with the grey, where you can see more definition of the lace coming down the front. So yeah, I think it needs to go, or it needs to be frogged, and I need to start again. So yeah, hopefully having seen that footage you might understand kind of where I'm coming from in terms of why I need to start this again. And as you can see from this one, well, you can't actually because it's not really enough, but I have swapped those colours like I said, and I have also come up with a new lace panel design. Now I might have to input a photo of this. I'm not sure how well it's going to come up on the screen, but I will give it a go. That is my new lace panel. I think that's in screen and I hope that's in focus. If not, like I say, I'll put the picture in anyway. So the main 2 things that I wanted to take from my previous lace panel was that I liked the cable, and I liked the cable as it travelled up through the shawl. And the leaves was a really integral part of the design. I really wanted the leaves to be in the design. However, I felt in the previous attempt that they weren't obvious enough. They didn't pop as much as I wanted them to. They weren't clear enough. And so with that in mind, and then I did kind of thought that with the previous design, the lace went in 2 ways, like straight, and then the garter went straight the other way. So there was a lot of I guess you could say it was quite angular in that sense. And I kind of wanted to, if I was going to start again and try again, I kind of wanted to see if I could mix that up. And I think this is the epitome of what it needs to be. The leaves are much more defined, although this one I did slightly different to the others, so ignore this one. They will be like this. I don't know if you can see I did the decreases there differently slightly, but they will be like the top ones and that one. And I love, and this is my favourite bit, I love how this cable winds or like undulates up the shawl. So I think that will look really, really cool. So I think this is where I'm going to go with it next, and I think it will be worth it. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying I'm starting this again. Even those previous, like those lace panels that I've already done, and the one that I settled on prior to changing my mind again, has taken so long to develop. Like, how many times I worked on that increased rate from the starting point to make it look really lovely, but then also get the stitch counts in I needed for each motif, and I've spent so much time on that, and for some reason I think, yes, why not start again? And this is why I wonder why I bother designing sometimes, because and I think I've said this before, so apologise if I'm a bit like a broken record, and I'm not complaining, it's just something I seem to do. I work on things and work on things and work on things until I'm blue in the face, and I get to the point where I'm really happy with something at the end, but it's a long process this. It's such a long process. Like, if I was to tot up the amount of hours I spend doing this stuff from start to finish, from design idea to knitting something to fogging to knitting to fogging to pattern writing to re-pattern writing to sending it for testing, etc, etc. If I totted up all those hours spent developing these things, I don't know how many patterns I'd have to sell to even just break minimum wage. Like, it'd be a lot. But yeah, at the same time I can't stop designing, can I? Because I'm still here doing it. I've still got other ones that I'm planning to do. It's a habit I can't break. But yeah, I'm hoping that despite the long road it's taking, it will be worth it. I think I've got something that's worth pursuing. I'm just taking a very long way round to do it. I'm taking the scenic route, shall we say. So yeah, that's my show. Maybe you should all just jump in my comments and tell me to stop designing. Maybe that's what I need to hear, and then I just concentrate on the other thing that I'm trying to get up and running as the other day job thing. I don't know, I'm just winging life right now. On that point though, if you haven't seen my creative business journey vlog, I recommend going to check that out, because in a couple of days I hope to drop another episode of that as well, because I slowly seem to be getting somewhere with that too. Once again, I've taken the scenic route on that as well. Maybe I'm just a bit too much of a perfectionist. Or maybe it's not perfectionism, maybe it's just indecisiveness. Is indecisiveness a word? I'm sticking with it, indecisiveness. So yeah, let me know what you think of the shawl. I would be really interested to hear your views. Also, if you've got any tips and tricks for my handspun and integrating that thicker skein in with the rest, or any pattern ideas that are better than the everyday sweatshirt or whatever it was called from Yosoda, then yeah, I'd be really keen on that as well, because like I say, I'm quite a novice spinner. Like, this is the first time I've had this amount of handspun to knit a garment with, so tips and tricks are most welcome. Thank you very much. I am naturally rounding this episode out now. I think that's probably a good time to stop, because the more I waffle, the more you get fed up with me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like hearing about my designs, ups and downs, my woes, my triumphs. I haven't had many triumphs, have I, recently? But yeah, thank you for checking me out if you're new here. Thank you for watching again and putting up with me again if you're not new here. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things that YouTubers say. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.